here with you. I hope you're doing well. Here it's looking like spring wants to come. We had snow this week. I'm filming ahead of the video of that I'll be airing on Monday. So yeah, it's a weird type of weather, and some people already removed some of their snow tires, and so with the snow there was a lot of accidents on the road. So quite happy that I didn't have to take the car that day and I could just stay put and do Etsy stuff. So that was a great thing. I want to start off the video today. First of all, we're going to be making some Christmas cards. I know we haven't made Christmas cards in a while, so I figured you guys would love that. So before we start that though, I wanted to share with you guys what I have been doing over on Patreon. So basically now for $2 a month, which is less than a coffee would cost you, you get access to 2 videos, plus you get access to freebie sheets that I design, and you have access to all the backlog of the videos for that tier that I have done in the past. And this month, exceptionally, not only are they getting 2 videos, but actually they're getting 3, because and one of the fun things with that, with even the first tier, is that you get to give selections of ideas for the upcoming month's video, and then everybody votes on once all the selection, the choices have been put down. I create a poll, and then people vote on what they want to see the next month, and whichever video gets the most response, actually the first 2 videos that get the most response get that tier gets them. And this month they decided that they wanted to see other types of recycling cards. So that's what we did for the first video, and it turned out really awesome, and I shared the picture of those cards over on Instagram, and I believe on Facebook as well. So if you want to check it out, you can see it. And when going through the different cards that I had access to, I came across a card that had a multitude of little cats, and it's kind of hard to use one of those cards because the cats are so small. And so I decided, I put it away, but I wanted to use it. So for one of the higher tiers, I decided to alter some Project Life cards. And that's what I did. But in an hour video, I only made 5 cards. So basically then I still had 8 little images, and I figured, you know what, that could be a really fun thing to show as the second video for the Peeps group. And so I decided to do that, but obviously I still had 8 cats to do. So obviously just creating the toppers took me, I think it's close to 2 hours of a video. So one of the longest videos I've ever done. And so I made all of these toppers, and I've shared the images on Instagram as well as on Facebook, and on YouTube actually in a post. And now that I've made these, we're going to be making some cards to go with them, and some of those cards have wonderful sayings on the back. So now I want to find a way to do a card that will have reversible toppers. So that's going to be the next video that is going to air. So basically, because I couldn't do the full video of making the cards and the toppers in one, I split it to part 1 and part 2, so they're gonna get part 2 next week. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I know a lot of you guys would like to have more videos, and I'm not sure that you know the price of the different tiers. And like I said, for $2 you get access to all of that. So in case you want to support my channel and get more content. This being said, we're going to be doing Christmas cards today. So the cards that we're making are going to be done with, I figured I wanted to do recycled cards, But like I said, I did recycle cards for my Patreons, so I wanted to do something a little bit different, and because I get bored otherwise, let's be honest. So I thought, you know what, let's do something with what are they called? Gift cards. So basically, if you exchange gifts and you get some gift cards attached, then you might be interested in keeping them and making and using some of these as card toppers. And I thought it would be fun to make some using that. So I'm thinking, I'm seeing this paper pack here, and I'm thinking that this might be a fun paper pack to use for some card making. There's some actually that have designs on them that we could actually probably use just as is, but there's some that just have a pretty background, and we could use some of these. So maybe I'll pull out this pack, and I'm in the blues, so let's pull out this paper pack as well. There's also this one, which I think could be really elegant and pretty on those. Okay, so we'll pull those out. I also have my sentiment sheets. By the way, all my digital sentiment sheets, if you're interested in them, they're all now located in Patreon, because my Patreon shop, because now Patreon offers the possibility of having of selling digital stuff, which is really awesome, and they don't charge a fee for the listing, contrary to Etsy that does. And so I'm not going to be making more than one of each of these designs, but let's pull them all out, because yeah, I'm tired of having to open these up every time. So they charge every time, and the digital stuff sells, but it doesn't necessarily sells a lot. But it's kind of sad that I can't have it listed all the time. So now that I've discovered that Patreon does that, I've pulled out all my digital kits, and they're all now located in the Patreon shop. And what's also cool with the Patreon shop is that you could actually purchase certain videos that I put for sale. So for example, the video that I did this week, that I shared the snarky cats, well, that is actually listed for sale in the store, so you could purchase just that. But the videos themselves, they're charged at $5, whereas if you go and get the membership, you can get it for $2. So just saying. But if you don't want to have a monthly thing, you could do a one-off as well. But basically my digital kits, they're all there, in case you're wondering, because you might be looking into my Etsy store and wondering where did they go. And that's the reason why. I wish Etsy would charge just when you sell, instead of charging no matter what. But they do what they do, and I think I've mentioned in the past why I go with them. Well, this is pretty paper, but it's not the right shade. What about this? These were part of the paper packs that I got at the dollar store. This might be better. I think they would need to be a little bit more on the grayish side. I do want some colors. I want some blues with this, but a blue background. Let's see. think this one has more of the pale. Oh, maybe this one. I think I use this one a lot. I don't think I have a lot of it left. Have this as well, which is different and might be a good one. So yeah, I'm still with Etsy, and the reason why I'm still with Etsy is that I don't like the idea of having to manage the sales tax, and it's convenient to have Etsy do it for me, even though it's costly. That's the reason why. Plus, I've built my my audience there and my ratings, and obviously leaving at this point, I would lose all that I've done, basically, which is kind of sad. So that's also one of the reasons why I'm not so inclined to leave. Okay, I've got a few more of this. And I do have this one, which is a bluish grayish color. I still think this one is better. Okay, so I'm gonna go with that. And we're gonna create, usually I create about 5 cards, so we'll create 5 cards. 3, 4, and 5. Obviously it's early to start making Christmas cards, but especially since last year I didn't send any because of the postal strike. Hopefully this won't be, they won't do another strike. They're still discussing the possibility of strikes, and I really hope they don't. There's enough stuff going on in the world without that happening as well. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well and that you're enjoying spring wherever spring is. I really look forward to being able to garden outside, and to just clean out my yard and play in the dirt. I've been cooking a lot too. My since I'm home now, I've been the one taking charge of the cooking, and we waste a lot less, which is amazing. I'm not surprised, because obviously when you're at home, you get, like, you can do the meal planning based on what you have. Whereas when you're working, it's easy to forget what you have and not take the time to look for it, and you just kind of buy whatever and you don't think about it. And it's a lot easier to end up with waste, I find, at least. So now I have better control over what we actually eat, what we actually have in store, and I just buy the extras we need. I'm thinking I want more than 1 layers. I'm wondering what color would go with this. I don't want to waste another big sheet, so I'm thinking maybe some of these. This might be good. Wish I had more of this pale one. I might, but I'm looking. I've got a little drawer full of different papers here that I pull out when I need them. Got this, but I'm not feeling that this is the right color. I think that one is pretty much the same. There's this here, but it's more greenish. I think it would go better with this paper pack, which has more like the greens. Yeah, and it's not so much what I want to play with right now, so I'm gonna keep these out. Also wondering if I've got another bunch of papers that are beside me, and that are pastels, but in 5x7 size. So maybe those would be good. Yeah, some of these might be a good color. So I'll keep those out. Okay, so now the decision is to what do I want to put on this. Obviously, I'm not going to be keeping this back. And I could keep this portion for the inside. Like, remember last week when I did my mini thank you cards, there was a bunch of cardstock that had paper that was darker, and I wouldn't have been able to write on it because they were too dark. But this would be the perfect thing to put inside them. So I'm gonna create a little bin of those and hopefully remember about them the next time I do mini cards. Okay, so we've got this beautiful little image. It's a perfect topper, especially for cards this size. Like, I think it's really a good size. Now it's a question of deciding what paper. I'm gonna put some of this paper underneath because I think it needs it, and then I'll put some of this. But obviously, if I use this, I need to put my card that way. But I could put this. Yeah, it's not gonna work the way I want, because I thought I could put the sentiment underneath. But now I would have to put the sentiment on the sides. But if I put the sentiment on the side, then I have this big block that's gonna hide most of the paper. Unless I just do this and then I do one little strip that I put here with the sentiment, and then put maybe some I could put some snowflakes. I've got wooden ones. I brought the sticker ones, but I'm thinking that maybe the wood ones would work well with this. So maybe we're going to use that. Because I don't do a lot of the cards with, and actually there's one with some silver in it. And that might be very pretty, because there's sparkle on this as well. I could put it directly on the white, but I'm thinking that I don't want to do that. So I think I'm gonna keep a white border. This way I don't use as much of this paper. And maybe I've got more of this for another one, for another card. We shall see how that works out. I'm hoping this is exactly the right size for what I want. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this down. Oops. And I'm gonna cut it. And I'm gonna cut the little edge because there's a little white piece on it. I don't know why, but there's, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but there's a little white and it's bothering me. So I'm gonna just cut it. Okay, so I think this is better. So this is gonna be this piece. And then I'm gonna have this piece, which is gonna be here and here. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to use on something else. Actually, if I use this way, it gives me a bigger border that maybe I can put on another card. Also have that, but okay, so this would be like that, and then I would put this on top of this. It's so pretty. This year I wanted to go and get some more, but by the time I went to the dollar store to get, because I didn't really go during the Christmas time to the dollar store, because I didn't decorate for this year because of the water flooding that we had. So I didn't decorate this year, and so because of that I didn't go into the dollar store until, this would be pretty, Winter Wonderland, until basically it was over. So I didn't get, by the time I went, there was nothing left that was interesting, which is kind of sad. Because I think I realized that I would have needed more wood. Like I wanted some more wood embellishments, but it was too late. It's okay. Next year will happen, and next year, you know, there shouldn't be any damage to the house, and we should be able to decorate like we usually do, and just have a wonderful family time. Because it was sad. It was the first year that I put like really nothing out. It did make the cleanup easier, but it's not quite the same. I wasn't in the holiday spirit. I was also just coming back from my sick leave to work like full time, and it was intense. There was a lot of work to be done before the holidays, so yeah, it wasn't the best. I didn't even go camping last year, which we always do, and we missed it. So this year we've already booked, and I can't wait. I've been planning in my head what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be bringing. I have to see that I don't want to bring too much, but I don't want to not bring any either. So it's always the case. Like I always think I'm not gonna have enough, and then I bring way too much. Last year I had found a really good balance, but at the end of the day I ended up having to unpack all that I had packed for it, so it was really sad. Okay, so I'm thinking something like this, and I've got some smaller ones, so maybe two, one small, one big. It might be fun, and then I can add some bling to the center of them. So This video is going to be fairly long because I've been talking a lot and not doing much. Took me a while to figure out how I wanted, what the type of background I wanted. Maybe the rest of the cards are gonna go faster. Maybe. Shall see. And then I want some bling. I wonder, I have these here that I never ever use because they're not round, but for a snowflake, I mean, I think if I put them, actually I could leave it directly in the center, it'd still be pretty. Okay, so this is a good use for these little squares. So that's the first card. And then for the next one, could be fun to use something like this. And have this little guy that would be pretty, or even this one. Actually, if I was to, these are 6.5, so that would be 3 1/4. Right? Yeah. That could be really fun. So 3 1/4 and 3 1/4. So we'll make 2 faster cards and reuse those tiny pieces. And I'm going to use these 2. Whoops. Okay, so remove this. I can use it for something else. I always keep everything. It's bad. As I was doing my Patreon video, it was a great way of using all my tiny scraps, let me tell you. But as I was telling my Patreons, like, I had the smallest of tiniest little scraps. It was crazy, but I was using them, and so, you know, when I end up doing that, then it encourages me to continue keeping those tiny little bits of paper, and then I end up with a big bin of them. So I don't know if you call that a disease, but it's something, that's for sure. Okay, so I guess I could use this again. Yeah, I'm on the background. So I could do this and cut it here and then cut it here. So then, and cut it here. So my first cut will allow me to have enough to do the backing of the little pictures. I'm not sure I'm going to put sentiments or not, but I can figure that out after. Okay, so there's this, then there's this, and then there's this. It's small, but it's okay because I do think it's pretty like that. And then I can put maybe in the corners some bling. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by doing that and cutting my edge because it's not straight. Okay. I was way too close to this and not enough on the other side, so fix that. Okay, so like that, and then I'm going to put this. And then I'm going to put that. Might as well do the other one as well, so that I have less cuts to do after. Okay, so let's be smart about this. This, and then this. And then that. A bit. I didn't want to cut, like my image wasn't exactly the same size, so I didn't want to cut too close because then I was gonna have a problem. But this way it works. Okay, so then I can put this here, and then I could put a sentiment on it. Trying to see what I have in the blues. That would be a good choice. Maybe it's cold outside might be a good one. I don't know. I don't know. Home for the holidays could be a pretty one, but is it gonna fit? It would. Warm winter wishes could be a good one too. So let's use those. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this big sheet down. And I'm going to keep one column. The rest I can put aside. And this is the one I'm going to use. So here we go. So I've got that one. And then I'll do the same thing with this. Actually, I want to use this one. There's all sorts of different fonts on these, and which makes it a lot of fun. So hopefully that fits within the little band. Yes, it does. Okay, so this doesn't fit that way, but it fits this way, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to use it this way. And does this fit? No. But I can put it here. So here is one. Here's the second one. Whoops! My paper went flying somewhere. I have to vacuum here soon. Because there's little bits of papers everywhere. So here we go. And then I've got this. And okay, so I'm thinking that I have these snowflakes that could be fun. I want two that are not, that are the same. Because this one is raised. It's not flat like these. So put these two. And then have these big blings. They're still too big. Sucks because that would have been a good way of using them. Okay, so whoa, it went flying just like my paper. Whoops. Cat hair. Still finding cat hair, even after 2 years. Close to 3 years. Oops. And then we'll assemble this one. least a lot of the cuts are done. And then this. My gun keeps on falling. And this one I think I'm going to put it to the side so that I could put a bigger snowflake, wood snowflake there, instead of using the tiny ones. Here we go. And then use a wooden one. With one of my blings. Where's my Sucon tape? There it is. Okay, and then one of those little blings. And I think because the snowflake is bigger, I don't want to put anything in the corners for that one. So I'll leave it as is. So now we've got 2 cards left to make a set of 5. And I'm actually thinking that I'm going to do one more and that will be it, because this video is quite long already. So we're gonna what do I want to use? These are more scenery. Then I have these papers that are like, well, that one's pretty. I wonder if I could use this. So that's my bigger piece. Then I do have this smaller piece. Maybe I could use one of these little guys. And keep just the white background instead of having to cut another piece of paper. I think that might be what I want to do. So let's see this. If I do this, I'm going to put this here. I could make it a little bit smaller. So this and this. This design could be used in any which way, so this and put that. Wow, that's exactly the same measurements as this. How cool is that? Okay, and then this, I don't need to do anything to it. It's also the perfect size. That's pretty cool. So we're assemble, and then I need to figure out if I put a sentiment on it or not. then I'm gonna need to cut this. And this has a little thing in the back. I could actually reuse it and glue it on my other piece to use as my backing. Where's my other piece? Okay. No, actually I want to glue this down first. So like that, and then just flip this down like so. Okay, so now the decision is, do I put a sentiment or do I just put, let's say, 2 snowflakes? I have tiny ones, I believe, somewhere. I might still have 2. I see the big ones. Where are the smaller ones? I have 2 here. That would work. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. And no sentiment on that one. I like having some that don't have sentiments for Christmas, just because I never know how many French ones I'm gonna need and how many English ones I'm gonna need. And when there's no sentiments like this, I can use it for somebody that's French speaking or English speaking. So it is just more convenient in my stash. But you could have put a sentiment, obviously. Any of these could be altered to your little heart's desire, and that's the fun part of card making. It's that there's no right way or wrong way about this. It's just your own unique way, and that's what makes them fun, because nobody, like, even with the same supplies, nobody would have made the exact same cards. So these are my 4 cards for today. I hope that you've enjoyed the very long video, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.